Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the PvP podcast where we talk about real estate, business, and everything in between. And today I have Meir Ezra sitting down with me. And Meir is actually an entrepreneur with many talents, and he seems to have his hands in a lot of cookie jars. But I will let him explain that to us. So Meir, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Nice to be here, and thank you for having me.
Yes.
Um, you want me to talk about myself a bit? Uh,
Yeah, let me know who
yeah,
you are, where you come from.
yeah, I'm a businessman.
Yeah?
Um, I specialize in printing money.
We could all learn a thing or two about printing money.
Ethically, printing money ethically. So I started with the actually software and hardware. So I started with a software company, made it extremely successful. Sold when I was 31 years old a deal for 100 million US dollars for BP. That was a long time ago. At
Wow.
that time, it's like the equivalent of, let's say, today, $1 billion maybe. Um, Made since then created a lot of businesses. I have a small bank where I lend money to people. I have real estate investments. We're doing hotels. We're doing lots of things. Still, I'm into software and hardware, and um, and over the years, people ask me, "How do you do it?" And I
Yeah.
was explaining many times, like to friends, how to do that and help them with their businesses, and brought more and more success. And some years ago, someone came to me and said, "Look, I want to invite you to speak on my stage." It was something that called CEO Space. And I said, "Okay, fine, I'll speak, not a problem." So there was like 300 and something people in the room. I was explaining about how do how do I make money, and I didn't really sell anything. But by the end of that talk, I had hundreds of people, more than 200 of people waiting for me to wanting to learn. So I was forced into creating a seminar on how to print money, what are the secrets of money, and that led to creating a company that doing coaching and training. So about 10, maybe 15% of my time I do coaching and training, but otherwise I'm printing money.
Amazing. I mean, like there's so many directions this episode could go, real estate, coaching, software, but like, how did you transition through the different businesses that you did? Like, was it just, obviously you're a businessman, you're an entrepreneur, right?
Yeah.
But did you have any prior experience in, let's say, for example, when you switched from to real estate, did you have any prior experience at all, or was it just a venture that you embarked on?
Yeah, never. What I've learned quite early in my life, something extremely important, that your viewpoint define the results.
Yes, I love that.
Just look at
Mindset, right?
it's not mindset. It's not mindset because the mind is a series of pictures of all your past. Every second you take 25 pictures, every picture have 57 perception, and this is really the sum of your past. The mind is what limits you. But I know that the only limit a person have is his experience. Because according to experience, mankind will never fly.
Yeah,
Someone one day took a different viewpoint and said, the hell with the mind, the hell with the past. I think we can fly.
and
So
built
I
an airplane.
so I realized it's not the mindset. These nuances of accuracy is what make the difference between why I make money and other people don't. Because
I
the
love that.
definition is so exact. I'm not looking at the mindset, but I'm looking at the viewpoint. Viewpoint, I assume, mindset get collected. So viewpoint, I can change what happened in the past. I cannot.
Yeah,
So it's the viewpoint that I take that define the results.
yeah. Amazing.
And this is really, really amazing. So this is the first thing that I had big realization on when I was really, really young, like really young. I'm talking about 3 years old. The viewpoint that I take makes the result, because I was born in to a poor family, in a very small town in the north of Israel. And everything said that I could not succeed. I stopped studying. I stopped going to school in a very early age, because I had to work, etc., etc. But I knew that it's the viewpoint that I take that will make the difference. So this is the first thing that I've learned, and the second thing that I've learned is that things are successful by the accuracy of their definition. If I can define something accurately, I can control it. And if not, it controls me.
Amazing.
So if I can define money accurately, I can control it. If I can define the problem accurately, I can solve it. If I can define the end result accurately, I will have it. So it's the accuracy of the definition that allow me to figure out what I need to do, and then I need to make myself fall in love with what I need to do. And this is like major difference between what I'm talking about and what other people do. So I said, look, if you know exactly what the mountain that you want to achieve, I will not need to tell you what to do, because there might be a massive forest between you and the mountain, but as long as I can see the mountain, I know I need to go left, right, up, down. I will get someday to the mountain. And the only thing that left is I need to make myself fall in love with the actions. Where most of the people do what they feel, do what they want, do what they can. This is all nonsense. I do what's needed, and I make myself fall in love with what's needed, so I will get the result. And
I love that. Like, I resonate with that so much, because I always say, like, it doesn't matter how I feel. What matters is what needs to be done. And I hear a lot of discipline in what you're explaining. You need to have discipline to do it, right? Because, like you said, most people do what they feel, do what they this. But Mike Tyson says discipline is doing what you hate to do, but doing it as if you love it. And there's a lot of, like, in my business, real estate, cold calls was a huge part of it. I hate cold calls. Nobody likes to pick up a phone and call a stranger and ask them for business. Nobody does. But I was good at it, right? So when I would do it, it would sound like I loved it, but I hated doing it, And it's often in life. I read a great quote the other day: the answers to the life you want is in the discipline that you avoid. So, and this is what a lot of people forget. So when it comes to your viewpoint, I agree with that so much, right? Because it's all life is a matter of perception. I read a book where he talked about, one of the chapters was called Laying Brick or Building a Cathedral. And he used the example of two men, me and you, doing the exact same job, but you were miserable and I was happy. And the reason why you were miserable is because you were looking at your job as laying brick by brick. And the reason why I was happy, even though we were doing the exact same task, was because I looked at it as building a beautiful cathedral.
The one has an end result in mind, and he makes himself fall in love with it. It is not that I hate doing it and still doing it, because then you will not be able to do it over time. It is actually fall in love with what you need to do. I'll tell you when I was actually first time realized that. It's a kind of an interesting story. I was a very young guy, maybe 22, I think, or something like that. I just finished the army. I was a diver in the army. I was in a special unit. And I finished, and, I wanted to start life, didn't have money, and I heard about some old guy that need someone to take care of him. The guy couldn't talk, he couldn't control his bodily function. He was in a very bad state. And I'm arriving to this house, and I see the guy, and I say, okay, fine. My job is to get him to communicate, and I want to make his life so amazing that he will love it. He was living in a very small house, generally run down, and I didn't even know who is this guy. Yes, someone told me about him. I came to an interview. Some young guy interviewed me that was before me, and he just wanted to run away. So I said, okay, fine. I'm going to make myself fall in love with this. First of all, I started to renovate the house, clean on my own account. No one asked me. I paid for it. Renovated the house. When I needed to clean his diaper, I felt that this is the best thing that happened to me. I was just waiting for him to do it. I was like and I was talking to him and telling him how much I love to help him and how much it's giving me purpose in life. And I was really, really loving it, cleaning, fixing everything, fix the air condition, fix the lights, fix this. I'm very good with my hands. I could fix anything. And the guy started to talk. And he was talking to me. And I didn't know, but he's one of the richest guy in Israel. I didn't know that at all, like nothing, because you look at how he lives. It's like his son comes after about 2.5 months. I never saw his son. His son comes and he tells me, what's happening here? What did you do? He doesn't like all these things. I said, well, apparently he does. Look, he's talking and he's happy. And his son says, he's talking. I say, yes, go and talk to him. And his life changed. This guy came to me and says, look, I don't know what you've done. You stop working here. You come to work for me. I'll give you more money than you can count, because they're really the richest family in Israel, richest, like. And I said, I'm not leaving, and I don't want your money. I'm taking care of your dad. I have a purpose here. I'm not leaving. He said, but I'll give you a lot of money. I said, I'm not here for the money. I love this job of helping your dad. If you want me to help you and work with you, not a problem. Once I will find a replacement for myself, and I will find someone, and I will train someone, and I will see that he's at least as good as me, I will come to work for you. That's the viewpoint. I love the moment that I needed to clean his diaper. That's the viewpoint. And when you can get to that point where you love it, no, you don't force yourself.
Yeah.
You make yourself, because I create my own emotions.
Yeah. Yeah.
I create my own emotion. I don't hate it and then cheat myself and say that I love it.
Yeah.
I genuinely love it, because otherwise I'm lying, and every time I add a lie, sooner or later I will cut my ability to have.
Yeah. Yeah. It reminds me of something that I had read, and it said, pain is mandatory, but suffering is optional. Mm-hmm. Everybody experiences pain. Everybody experiences some sort of struggle, right? Going back to that laying brick or building cathedral, it's the same for pain. We could go through the same story, the same tragedy, the same exact story, but I am suffering and you are not.
Exactly.
And some people get stuck. They get stuck.
Yeah, the viewpoint that I take, people don't know that they can be cause of a life.
Yeah.
They don't know.
Yeah.
Most of people, most of the time, are the effect of life. Things happen and they obey what's happened. No, I don't obey what happened. I define what will happen. So the viewpoint is either your past define what will happen, or the future that I want define what will happen.
Yeah.
At any given moment, you can be an effect, which means the past define what will happen, or you can be cause, which means the future will define what will happen.
Yeah, exactly.
If I'm effect, there's nothing I can do. If I'm cause, there's nothing I cannot do.
Yeah. Yeah. Amazing. And now, so All this is all great. This is very inspirational, you know. So this definitely gives me a better understanding of your success in business and everything you've done. So tell me about, like, for example, the real estate side of things. What type of real estate do you invest in? Where do you invest? You know, do you stick to one lane, as I like to call it, or do you venture out into other investment strategies within the real estate space? What does that side of your business look like?
So we do quite a few things. It started with me just lending like cash, lending cash to deals. And then it's expanded into giving not short, but longer term lending. And then that's expanded into developing properties. We're developing mainly hotels, like totally from zero. So we have that thing, and there's not one thing that I do, but there are different offers that coming into the table, and I look, can I take this thing and add something unique? Can I add some value that will take the normal things that everyone do and be unique somehow? Because if I'm not unique, if you don't get to a point where you are unique somehow, you will not really make a lot of money. And everything that I do is based on some kind of a basic principle of life. So when I look at a deal, when I look at a relationship, when I look at everything, these principles of life. So for
Yeah.
example, one of my principles is that I call it the 90-9-1. I say that 90% of the success is organization, 9% is connection, and 1% is genius. When most people
Amazing.
think that 90% is genius,
Yeah.
9% is whatever, and the organization is 1%. For me, from my viewpoint, in order to grow and make real money, I'm not talking about $1 million or $500,000. This is not money. I'm talking about real money. You need 90% organization. And the truth is that the smaller you are, the more important it is for you to be organized.
Yeah,
The
very true.
smaller you are, the more important for you to be organized, efficient. So everything I do is based on some kind of a principle. Nothing I do because I feel like it. I learned the principles of life. And once you understand the principles of life, any deal that come to me, can I align it with one of these principles? If I can align it, it makes money always. And the only time that I lost money, and I lost quite a few times I lost money when I got convinced to ignore one of the principles. When somehow I managed to say, no, this is different. It's never different. Life is principles, and if you operate according to those principles, you have to be genius to fail. It's impossible.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, you're talking about principles, so I imagine these principles, you could translate them to your personal life, you could translate them to your business, you could translate them anywhere, right?
Yeah, otherwise they are not principles. Truth works always. So you have, let's assume that gravity is truth. So gravity works always. It's not important who you are, where you are, it's irrelevant. There's always gravity. So if the principle is true, the reason we call it a principle is because it always works, and if it doesn't work one time, it means that it contains a lie.
Right. Amazing. That's amazing. I could tell you one thing, you're changing my viewpoint during this episode. Now, let me ask you about your coaching. What type of coaching do you do?
Okay, so in order to coach someone, before you can coach anyone, you need to create a common language.
Okay.
Because if I tell to someone money, what is money? Probably most people will have a definition that it's not the correct definition. So I don't have common language with them. So for example, if the definition that you use for a word do not solve all the problem related to that word, you have the incorrect definition. So for example, if someone asks me what is money, I would say that money is an idea backed by confidence. So I have an idea. So I have a credit card. It's an idea. It was $5, not 5 cents maybe, piece of plastic.
Yeah.
But it's backed by confidence. People have confidence in that idea. So I can go with my credit card, buy a car that was $400,000 with nothing, just a plastic, like nothing. I give a check. It's an idea backed by confidence. So when people understand that money is actually an idea backed by confidence, all you need to do in order to have money is to have ideas, create confidence with those ideas, and you will see that money will come to you more than you think. Mm-hmm. I've done a lot of startups my original wealth came from software and hardware. And in the startup world, there's a principle that says, for as long as the dream is a dream, you will have endless amount of money. The moment that it become practical, the money will stop.
Amazing.
Because the idea and the confidence is actually what sells. Now, if you also deliver after that, then you create wealth.
Yeah. Yeah.
So money is an idea backed by confidence, and most people think that ideas are useless. Ideas and confidence is everything. So it means the relationship that I build, every relationship has to have such a strong confidence. I will never break the confidence. I will go to the moon to keep my word once I gave it. So people know that if I tell you, yes, I don't need any paper, I don't care what the agreement says, the lawyers can write the agreement in such a way that it will cheat you totally. I don't care. I give you my word, I'll pay. Keep your words once given, because this confidence is what bring the money, and then the delivery bring the wealth. If you can deliver on that, you will be wealthy. Otherwise, you'll have money for a short time, and money comes and goes, because money is a method of communication. It has an emotion.
I love that. Yeah, I love that. I love that. So that's amazing, and I definitely agree with the confidence part of things. I think that the reason why a lot of people don't have the confidence they should have is because they never had the courage to go after what they wanted. And some, maybe they did and they failed. Sorry?
Don't they have the courage?
Well, some, maybe they did and they failed and they played it safe.
Why do they
fail? For me, failure is a learning curve. Failure is an opportunity to become stronger and better.
Yeah,
right?
Why they don't?
Exactly. Why? Why not? Why not? And I think that
The answer is
energy.
Anything. Energy.
Anything. Energy.
Energy? Okay, what is energy?
See, I feel like energy could be positive or negative, and it's a form of conditioning, right? Some are conditioned to be negative and some are conditioned to be positive. Some recondition themselves. Like
Different than between energy and force or power. Where energy comes from?
I would say it comes, I don't know.
A definition that doesn't solve all the problem related to that word.
Yeah.
You actually say a word without actually having benefit. It's not accurate anymore. Because energy is just the release of potential. This is a potential. And when I release potential, energy comes off. So it's always an effect. The problem is never a problem of energy, because energy is an effect. Energy comes from someone.
Yeah.
So the thing that brings the energy is the source of the problem. And if you try to solve the manifestation of the problem, you will never solve the problem.
Right.
Energy is never the problem, because it's a manifestation. It has always a source. So it's never the problem. It's what you see. Oh, I'm tired. I don't have energy. Okay, it's what I see. But the reason is always before.
Yeah.
So when you don't actually define accurately what you're talking about. You don't have the language. And so there is no actual way to improve. That's why when I'm going to coach someone, I first create a language, things that we agreed. So we need to agree what we mean when we say energy. We need to agree what we mean when we say mind, when we say spirit, when we say money, when we say result, when we say even the smallest thing as exchange, when we say wavelength, when we say all those things that people use. If you don't have a definition that solves all the problem related to that word, what you do? You're actually creating confusion.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
amazing.
I don't know if you are religious or not, but there's a story in the Bible that says that when people build the Tower of Babel, God got upset with them. He got pissed off, and he mixed the words. He mixed the definition of the words. So they couldn't get anywhere. When the words are not defined, you cannot get anywhere. Why? Because communication happens by me saying number of words that makes a sentence that cause you to get some idea, and from that idea you can create money. But if the words are mixed up, if we don't have the same definition, we don't have the same ideas, and our ideas will clash. So I will not be able to help you to make money, and you will not be able to help me to make money. And money you do because people conspire to help each other.
Right. I think
But
that,
I cannot conspire to help you if I don't understand you.
yeah. And I love your responses because you gave us a great example of the type of coaching you provide to people, you know? So I definitely love those responses. I think that, you know, like people, unfortunately, a lot of people stay stuck in a negative cycle where it prevents them from reaching their true potential. You know, and I think that those who are fortunate enough to realize it have an opportunity to work on it. Because there are some people that are, you know, they say you are a product of your environment. Well, if your environment is shit, change your environment.
Yeah, you're
Right?
not a product of the environment. This is how you justify it. This is your excuse. Because the
Yeah,
environment
exactly.
is dead. It's
Yeah.
not the universe. It's not the environment, because the environment is dead. What is the environment? Number of walls.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and even people is not, because I can affect people. I can be cause.
Yeah.
So actually the problem, the reason people do not improve, the reason people that come and learn from us, you know that, I don't know if you know, but we have something unique about our coaching company that is like that. If you come to study from me and you learn and you want to learn whatever you want, I don't care what you want. You come to a seminar and you say, this is what I want from the result. If you didn't get the result, I pay you double. Get that thing. If you come to a seminar, you pay $8,000 or $1,000 or $500 or $1. I don't care what's the price of the seminar. If by the end of the seminar, you did not get the result you define, not what I define, I give you what you gave me, plus cash when you leave. Not a promise to pay, not immediate, not in the future, not check, not a bank transfer. Cash at the door.
Right.
Why? Because I know that I bring results. I know. I was just telling my friend here that there's a guy, a very, very powerful guy. He was one of the first employees of Google. And he made some few bad decisions, lost all the money. And I'm talking about all the money is a lot of money. Yes, a lot of money, more than an average guy can count. So he came to me. Somehow I met him through a different friend, and his friend. I helped his friend, and he told him, "You have to talk to Meir. He can help you. If someone can help you, he can help you." So he's from the US. I'm in South Africa. I came to South Africa, and I said, "Okay, fine. This is what we're going to do. I'm going to give you, within 3 months, you're going to recover all the money that you lost. It's going to cost you $250,000. You put $250,000 with an escrow, you don't pay me. Take an escrow attorney, You put $250,000, I put $250,000. If within 3 months it didn't happen, you get the money. If it happens, I get the money.
I get the money. Right.
We've done it after 6 weeks. He recovered all the money. He paid me the 250, of course, because it was the agreement, but he paid me 250 extra because he told me that I undercharged him.
Wow. Wow. Imagine that.
That's the results I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You understand? It's not because what I'm dealing with is not some kind of a good thinking or good feeling. I generally say I don't care how people feel. I really don't care how they feel. Why? Because once I get them to make money, they feel great.
Yeah.
So it's not a problem. Yes? Oops, I think I lost you.
There we are. Sorry about that. We'll clean this up. We'll clean this up in editing. Little technical issue.
Yeah, not a problem. So basically, I say I don't care how people think because once you are successful, you feel good. So it's not a problem. And
right.
So the result, we are all about results. That's why we call it guaranteed prosperity.
Amazing.
Yeah, very, very, very different. Everything we do is based on undeniable principle, not because they are good principle or bad principle, but because they bring results. So even if they are wrong technically, I don't care. They bring results.
Amazing. So like what type of people do you work with in your coaching business? Entrepreneurs, businessmen, wealthy people, broke people, what type of people?
I have people from prime ministers of country,
Wow.
billionaires, and actual prime ministers of countries.
Yeah.
Billionaires, millionaires, people that have startups, people that don't have money, broke people, employees, every single kind of person. If you want to improve your life, you come to me, you do the webinars, the seminars, and I guarantee the result. For example, we have a seminar in England that's coming within, I think, next month or somewhere. And the seminar is called the Prison Break. And the basic idea behind this seminar is to get you out of the prison that don't allow you to succeed. The name of the seminar is Prison Break, how to shorten your long road to freedom. And the basic idea behind this seminar, it's a very low-cost seminar. You come for 1 day. By the end of this day, if you're not reversing the dwindling spiral of you losing money, if you don't really have 100% way to make money within 1 day, just 100% that you now, from now on, you will make money, we give you double your money.
Amazing.
And yeah, it's all about principles that are unbreakable. They bring result always, and I've done it. Like for example, I have a series of seminars that called the Family Academy. We have 3 legs in the company. One is family, second is business, and the third is spirituality. So the Family Academy, we deliver to more than 1 million people. Teaching family, teaching parents how to be good parents. So we said that there's never a problem with children, never a problem with children, only problem with...
Amazing. Imagine. Yeah. And I love that because what is a parent? A parent is essentially a reflection of the child they were, right? And it's generational. Traumas, they come from the parents and it's passed down, right? So like you said, the problem is never children, it's the parent. And in my viewpoint, a parent is essentially just an injured child, a hurt child who never learned to process it, to work it, to heal it, right? So he cannot, how could I teach something I don't know? How could I teach my child to grow up to be brave and courageous and happy if I am not brave and I am not courageous and I am not happy? So I love that. I love that. Amazing. So what would be one piece of advice you would offer a listener right now listening? Let's say a businessman starting up. Maybe he's failed. Maybe he's starting up. Maybe he has a bit of imposter syndrome. What would be one piece of advice you would offer him? Right. Yeah. I love that. I love that. Yeah. Yeah. I want to highlight what you said here to make sure that we put this on a reel and highlight this. Knowledge equals control. Control equals income. Right? Amazing. Unbelievable. Yeah. Because they don't know. They don't have the knowledge to answer that definition. Yeah, exactly. Amazing. Meir, I mean, this was a very insightful episode. I appreciate you taking the time to speak with me, coming on the show. I mean, I think my last question would be for any listener who resonates with your message today, and I'm sure there's a lot because I resonated with a lot of points you made. How could they reach you? Instagram? Amazing. Yeah. 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 Amazing. Amazing. Well, thank you very much for coming on the show once again. I appreciate your time. And for anyone who's watching or listening, be sure to like, follow, comment, or subscribe, whether it's on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Apple Podcast, or Spotify. We'll see you guys next time.